All right, hi there. I've got a new responsive template that I just got set up, and I want to cover setting up your featured entities XML package. So in my case, I've got a header here, featured departments, and we got control over how many columns show up, how many items show up, which items show up, and the type of entity that you want to show, if it's a department or a category or a manufacturer. So I'm just going to kind of cover some of those different setup options. So what you'll want to do is go over to the admin console and then click on Content, Manage Topics. And here you'll find at the top of your list of topics all these ones that start with 0 dash. And the one we're looking for is 0 home featured entities. So if I click into there, we've got a XML package token. That's what renders the dynamic XML package to output the featured entities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in HTML mode. It works a little bit better when dealing with this token. And before I start, I'm actually going to copy this into Notepad and paste that here just as a backup so I can always get back to where I started if I need to. And it's a good idea to just save that to your desktop somewhere. And an HTML file is probably the way to go. Okay, so now we can kind of work with this thing, and a couple things to notice here. There's a bunch of different options. This is just a standard XML package token, and it could render any XML package, but specific runtime parameters is what these guys are called. For this XML package are these guys. So we use the comma delimited list of entity IDs. So we've got this set to true, and what that means is we're going to look at this comma separated list of IDs to pull our entities from, and we'll figure out how to look those up in a minute. Columns equals 2, so we've got it set up for 2 columns, and we're going to show 4 items. The featured entity type is section, which is synonymous with department. So we could change that to a manufacturer or a category. And then the header text is just what shows up above your featured items. So yeah, let's play around with a couple of the easy ones. Okay, so the number of columns is 2. Let's just change that to 4. And the number of items, we'll leave that at 4 for now. You need to make sure that the number of items matches or is lower than the number in your comma delimited list here. Okay, so we're going to switch it to a 4-column layout, and we'll just change the header text here just to do a couple easy things. Okay, so we'll save that. And then we'll go back to the home page and refresh, and you can see our header text changed, and our layout now is a 4-column layout. So that's pretty nice. And we're still featuring those same items here. So let's now talk about how to feature some different entities. So let's do this. Let's say we want to feature, instead of sections the way we're doing here, let's feature some manufacturers. So I'm going to change the header text to featured brands, and the number of items of 4, I like that, and the columns, that's okay. So we're going to go find some manufacturers to feature. So let's go to products and product groups, and I'm actually going to control click this to open up another tab so we can keep our topic open here for editing. And we're going to go over to manufacturers here, and let's just pick a couple of these. So let's feature barber. I'll switch back to my tab here. So we'll put that ID in there. Oh, and see there, the WYSIWYG editor is trying to be smart for us here, and it's made it a link. We don't really want that, so I'm going to Control Z that, and make sure you're working in HTML mode, and then it won't do that. So I'll paste that in there. And back to manufacturers. Let's grab just some random ones here. We'll do that. And this guy. One thing to make sure is that they're actually published. I can see here with these checkboxes that all of mine are. So if you put one in there that's not published, you might be confused why it's not showing, when that's probably why. Okay, so we've got some manufacturers we want to list, or brands, and the entity type, I almost missed here, we want to switch to manufacturer. And we'll save that, and let's look at the front end here. Okay, featured brands, and now we've got our featured manufacturers, and you can see if I click on them, it'll take us to those. So that's pretty nice. What else can we do here? I mentioned that you could have more items in your common to limited list than you actually show. And the reason you might want to do that is if you wanted to randomize those brands. So we're going to turn on something that we don't already have turned on here, called random order. So let's add a couple more brands here. So we'll go back to our list, and we'll add a total of 6 different brands. Oop, here I go again. Let's go to HTML. So there's 5 and 6. And if I save that, those last 2 we added probably won't show at all. So that was Dell and Darenberg, looks like. Okay, so, but we're only showing 4 items out of 6. So make sure that's saved and refresh. And oh, it actually is doing, it is showing those guys. But it's the same 4 every time. So I think that's actually like by display order. So what we'll do is turn on random order. I'm not sure here what the, I think it's random. Yeah. Okay, so now you can see, so let me just, random order equals true. That's a new runtime parameter that I just added there. So you need to make sure there's a space right there, and you've got your equals and your quotes. And then what that'll do is actually randomize the order. So every time I'm refreshing the page here, I'm getting them in different order. And yeah, so that's the basics there of changing up those featured entities on your home page.